I'm not worried about Dak. I mean, and think in terms of the surgery, how he played a year ago. Think about where he is now versus where he was a year ago. Look, I know that we haven't been talking about Dallas as one of these favorites to come out of the NFC. When you think about their improvement on defense a year ago, I don't think they're out of the mix. I understand why. Look, I've said it's the Packers. Other people say it's Tampa. Some people still believe in the Rams. I don't think Dallas is out of it.
No, obviously not out, but I think the conversation with Dallas right now, it's free agency time, right? Yeah. And they're not usually big players this time of year. They like to keep their own guys, but they trade Amari Cooper. They lose Randy Gregory in free agency to the Broncos. So I think people are sort of wondering, are the Cowboys doing enough?
Yeah, but maybe this is good for them, right? Because every year we just immediately anoint them. At least I say I do that. You've done it with me, where we just look at this roster and we think, they're going to win this whole thing. How could they not? Look at the weapons around Dak. And getting back to Dak just really quickly, I spoke to him recently, and I don't want to ever downplay the importance, and Tim, you know this, of an offseason, a healthy offseason. He didn't have that last year because he was so focused on recovery. And he admitted that he spent a lot of the season dealing with the emotions of that return and how much it took out of him. So to be able to start this offseason healthy, as he says, with the shoulder situation, doesn't sound like it was that serious of a thing, I think is a big advantage for this offense, and it could be a different type of Cowboy team that we see headed into training camp.
Well, let me be glass half empty, right?
Okay.
Let me play the role of Hill. What I'm really concerned about, they lose Lionel Collins, Connor Williams gone. Tyron Smith hasn't been able to be healthy for 17 games. I'm concerned that they won't be able to protect him. And we've seen, last year, Kellen Moore fall in love with passing the ball too much. We know this offense works better when it's physical at the point of attack and they can run the ball. They're still stuck with Ezekiel Elliott's contract. Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been the same Ezekiel Elliott. Pollard is actually the better back, but they can't cut him because his cap hit is too high. So I have concerns, right, because you see Randy Gregory on the other side. Are they going to get a guy like Zadarius Smith? Are they going to create that balance opposite of Lawrence so Lions can't slide to Lawrence, right? Will Michael Parsons be able to step up again now? So I have questions about, this defensive line and being able to get after the passer. And I have questions about the ability to be able to protect Dak Prescott. Those are real legitimate concerns.
The thing, though, is, free agency started a week ago, and there are other parts of the year where you can add guys to your roster, right? They may not be done.
That's one of the tricky parts, is like with a draft. Think a year ago, we're talking about how bad their defense was, and then they draft Micah Parsons, who, many believe was the best defensive player, in all of football last year, not just for rookies. And so, we're also projecting this with an incomplete roster. We're also projecting this, without injuries that happen in October or November, things like that. I do think when you look at the NFC East and you look at, being able to get into the postseason and have a chance, I have to laugh. The highlights we have are Dak respotting the ball. And, there is an element of look, I expect them to be a playoff team. I expect them to be in it. And Dak, in all fairness to him, has played as well as, has had moments where he's played as well as any quarterback in the NFL.
I expect them to be pushing the division. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they have 3 first-round draft picks. We talk about the depth. In this draft, they have a lot of picks, a lot of equity, draft capital that they can go out and really improve this football team. That is a team that was a playoff team last year, so it won't be a walk in the park like they think last year.
Washington gets Carson Wentz, ideally an upgrade over Taylor Heineke, right?
You know what I need Bart on the can't wait. Can you bring back the breathe right for the can't wait?
That would be.
Will you do
get
that?
some of those.
Open it up.
Well, I'll put them on. We'll see. Yeah, Washington ideally got better quarterback. Giants one of these years, who knows? So we'll see. Again, the NFC East has not had a repeat champion since 2004. So you feel like somebody else has to have a shot.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.